Da-na-na-na. We did it.
Yes. Hooray.
We're back. We are back with another live stream. I just got back. John's back. Everyone's back. How's San Diego?
It's pretty good. I've got working AC now, so
Ooh.
things are good there.
Yeah, it's all finished last week. They were kind of like smoothing stuff out.
Yeah. So the one annoying thing, I have solar panels and they're not turned on yet because there's some stupid error code they have to clear on the thing before the inspection will go through, blah, 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 blah. But so I have I have solar panels just sitting there, soaking in the sun, doing nothing.
They're waiting. They're just like, come on, give me. I want to give you energy.
Right. They're bored. Bored.
Oh, my
No,
goodness.
things are good. I was telling you before we started here, I was happy to be able to reuse some of this exact code that we've been working with. We're getting ready for .NET Conf in September. That's September 23rd to 25th. And we have our website makes all these API calls to show local events and stuff. And we run into API limits if we call them too much. And so we're like, why don't we move this into a background function and basically do this exact same pattern? Nice. So like last night I was like copying and pasting code and, changing it around some, but it was exciting.
Do you want to show off the site? Because I know, I kind of know what you're talking about, but yeah, if you want to show some stuff off, you can share your screen and.
Yes, I will do that. Okay.
If people are new, we've been building this live.net website. Smob here, how's it going, buddy? Has been here for the journey, and we took all the background like logic and let me see. There we go. And then you can move me over to your bottom left.
Okay, yeah, I moved you, and then it moved it back. It's like
a little bit almost perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
And then,
here's this website.
Yep. And then what we were doing is we were what were we doing? We were doing like
oh yeah,
all the API calls for YouTube. So we put those into a function. So that way the website can kind of do it. So here's the website logic and our free tier of Azure.
Yeah. It's deciding if it wants to run.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was kind of our grand finale, I guess, towards the end of last time. Is like, hey, it's all working, it's all deployed, and it's pulling from this live function. And it was like down to the, we're like, can we actually make it work? And I was kind of surprised when it did.
Well, overtime action, yeah. So.
Yeah. So you had some stuff keyed up, but I wanted to show off this thing that I just finished up, like actually deployed it this morning. Or no. We're still merging the stuff in, so it's not running live. But so on this website, we show local events. We're up to 144 local events. So this is pretty cool where we have during .NET Conf and then also following up through October, people are having these in-person events all around the world. It's crazy. I mean, it's just, I love this, seeing the worldwide activity. Whoa, look at that. So anyhow, this actually is pulled from, we have SurveyMonkey is how these things are registered. And then we also geolocate them on Bing Maps. And so the problem with that is that there's API limitations, how many times you can call all those. So then I was like, this looks like a job for Azure Functions, just like we did before. So what I did, here, let me bring this up. So this is doing this sort of thing where I move this stuff over into a function. I've got SurveyMonkey and Bing, and I made some small modifications to what we had done in ours. So one is I have two triggers for this function, or two separate functions, I guess, that call it. Well, okay, so I have a get that just returns the blob. And then I have two things that run the update. One is I have a cron job running every 30 minutes. And then I also have a webhook because I want to be able to ping it. And then both of these just call into the same function.
Nice.
So just onto that.
Yep.
So then some interesting things I ran into with this. One was I cache all the, when we geolocate, I want to cache all that because we don't need to look up the Latin long for Mexico City every 30 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So I originally was thinking that I was going to put that into a JSON blob. But you can't do read and write. You can't.
No.
Yep. So I ended up like thinking about through some different things, and I ended up using just a Redis cache, which is super easy.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so this is just doing this. It's I've got this utility function down here where it's like got some connection multiplexer or whatever thing that's like makes it thread safe and stuff. So then it just goes out, grabs the cache. If the cache doesn't exist, no big deal. We'll create it.
Yeah.
And then we go hit all the stuff in SurveyMonkey, we geolocate, and then I serialize and write out the cache again.
I'm kind of even wondering. So, break down a Redis cache for me, because I know kind of what it is, but I also don't know what it is. Like, what are its competitors, like equivalents in the market? You know, like as far as what's out there. Is that like a Elasticsearch type of, or is it different than that, or?
It's so it's kind of it's supposed to be really lightweight, fast, and it's a read and write a string, read and write a number. So it's basically like a dictionary lookup kind of thing.
Okay.
It's crazy fast and super lightweight. So it's not like a full on, like indexing and searching and stuff. Although just like anything, there's extensibility to it. So like when I worked with a while ago, I believe you could write like functions and stuff using Lua and there's extensibility, but like the sweet spot for it is just like grab a string, read a string, write a string. So this was exactly, I had all this code and I was like, oh, I'm going to read this JSON file and then I'm going to write back out to it at the end. And I was like, oh, I can't do that. Super easy to just say, grab this string from Redis. So here I'm just saying, get string async.
Yep.
And then at the very end, I say write string async or set string async.
That's curious. So, yeah. So there is a hack to do read and writes, by the way. So
interesting.
I had to do this in the Hanselman one. So what you can do is, you can only specify read or write for a stream, but I'm pretty sure what you can do. Let me see if I can find it here. Pretty sure what you can do and what
I was sure there was something, but I was surprised after like a bunch of searching. There was like
so what you do is you just, because you can have multiple in blobs and multiple out blobs. So what you do is you specify a stream of out blob and then a stream of which is write, and then you have another one of read, and they just point to the same file. So which I think is a little hacky, to be honest with you, but it does work.
I thought about doing that, and then I'm like, I have no idea, like, if that's going to break randomly at some point. You know what I mean? And this, I was like, I haven't used Redis for a while. I'm like, let me hack on this for 10 minutes and see how it goes. And it was like, boom, 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 totally worked.
Yeah, that seems like a good idea, because it's like, here's this random cache that has really, it doesn't matter if it exists or doesn't exist here or there. You know what I mean? And you just want to grab it and put it in there, which is good.
Right. I don't need a file. I'm never going to you know what I mean? And also it's at the free tier, super inexpensive. So
oh, cool. Yeah, the place that I'm using it in, which I probably could have put inside of this JSON blob, but what I do is when I read Hanselman's blog RSS feed, I want to store a value which is the last blog article. Like, when was the last blog article? And additionally, I want to know the last one I saved and the new value. So let's say that last week is what I saved as the last blog. I need to read that value. And additionally, I want to store a new value. And I might want to, if there is a new value and like he blogged today, I may want to send a push notification. So I need to read the current value, send a push notification if it's new, and then write the new value to it as well. So I have this out and then in, and it is a little bit too streamed.
I should have probably tried that. I was just like, this seems like, if it works, I'm still not totally going to trust it, but yeah.
And I don't know if I should trust it either. But so Jim in the chat, welcome back, of course, Jim, asks, is there an article to read up on this approach? And the answer is, I haven't written it yet.
I was actually going to ask about that because I've not written on my blog for quite a while, and I was thinking this would be fun to write about. So I don't know if we could, I don't know if I'm allowed to blog on it too. Do you mind if we, like?
I would say do it. You know what I mean? And you could blog about this, what you just did.
Hmm.
And
Oh,
then,
you're right. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Then you could be like, oh, inspired by the work that we did in Handsome Forms and in
There,
live.net, right?
there you go.
And you could
Yeah.
do that. So I think that'd be pretty
It
cool.
is a really nice pattern, and it makes the website like pretty simple. It like decomposes stuff.
Yeah.
And then once you have it here, like once it's in a function, I can start, saying like, hey, I'll use Redis, and hey, I'll use, and still keep my application pretty simple. So, what I had one question too. I don't know if you've run into this, and I'm kind of getting into the weeds on this. I apologize, but if I have run into this, I used this on one other thing on the .NET Foundation website a long time ago,
Mhm.
and if you have an out blob and it fails, like there's an exception thrown or something, it can write an empty file.
Yeah.
And so what I looked at my old code for that, and I actually ended up throwing an exception, like intentionally throwing, so that the it would not complete and write the file.
Yeah, so
Do-
a good one is, well, yeah, if there's a write failure, that's going to definitely throw an exception. It could also happen on a read if the file doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, but what I mean is even like, let's say some just logic error, say I'm having trouble
Uh,
parsing or geocoding or something.
mhm.
So in that case, I don't want to overwrite my good JSON file with an empty new JSON file.
Correct, yeah.
So I think actually I'm going to update this slightly and just, if anything goes wrong, just throw like,
Got it.
so anyhow,
Makes sense.
because here I'm catching and logging, and I think I actually don't want to do that. I think I want to
Yeah.
I might want to get rid of the try catch and just if it fails, it fails. And I did test that in another function. So
Mhm.
anyhow, I was excited to be able to take advantage of that.
I mean, I also learned something new about Azure Functions this week, which was really awesome. Jeff Holland, yeah.
Mhm.
We were having this thread discussion about pricing and this approach that I'm using, and he said one thing of interest is I don't know exactly what it is, but somewhere in the documentation, but the HTTP trigger. So when you make an
Mhm.
HTTP trigger, it's like a special, even cheaper execution pricing. So if you're just doing an HTTP request or whatever like that, the trigger for it, I believe that's even cheaper on the execution time. So if you are creating these functions as your kind of like API gateway, I think it's
Yeah.
like even cheaper than if you like went to the calculator. Like I think it's less than whatever the calculator is. But he was
Wow.
telling me that I forget there's some special thing about the HTTP trigger specifically, like, oh, this is even cheaper or whatever, because it's just out there. It's not like it has to be like, oh, listen to this blob storage, do this other thing, type of thing. But yes,
Yeah.
Jim, I will be writing an article on this, and I will also, John will write an article. We'll talk about it. This is like when I started doing this architecture for Handsome Forms. I didn't even think about it. Right, I was just like, I'm gonna experiment with this kind of
Hmm.
crazy way of doing it, and then see if it works. And then it did work, and we'll kind of go from there. But we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I have some new things. Also, Pyro Cat, thank you for the follow, and Kung Fu Keyboard, Kung Fury Keyboard. Interesting name. Also, thank you for the follow. And Copper Beardy, welcome to the chat, and everyone else who's watching. Yeah, you want to do some work?
let's
We
let's
went
do some
through.
stuff.
So we went through a review with the Rowan
Hmm.
Miller, who owns .net, and he gave us some feedback because we're going to hand off.
Yep.
And we also got feedback from the community too.
True.
So,
Yeah. So there's one Sebastian was saying.
yeah. So Sebastian said in the banner for the countdown, like if you go to that website, well, there's no banner now, but there will be soon for the ASP.NET one. We should
Mhm.
show, like, if there is an upcoming show, we should show the title. And we don't show the title because the ASP.NET one, it's obviously the ASP.NET one, right? But there might be a whole bunch upcoming, and we want
Mhm.
to show that in the countdown clock.
Yep.
So we need to pass
And
it into
actually,
the
does this even
JavaScript.
show? This isn't showing a countdown clock.
That is because we haven't hooked up the Logic app yet.
All right. We should
Yeah.
do that.
So maybe I will start, and I'll just do the Logic app. How do you feel about that?
Sounds great. Sounds great.
Okay. So I'm going to pop over to my screen. Let me go and do that really quick. It's going to take a second for me to figure out where I'm at over here. Boop. Ming. Computer. Work. Oh.
Stream.
That did not.
Is it? It's still sharing my screen, right?
In transition. Oh. In studio mode. There we go. Okay. All right. Let me put you back. I was like editing.
Ah, I see.
Oh, James. Oh gosh. John up there. All right. So beautiful. That's a volcano. Okay. So what we have on our portal page is I have a resource group that we've all been sharing, which is called live.net. And what we have here is a bunch of functions. So what we can do is this. So all of our functions are going to go here, and we have our live, this one. And the reason that's the function live, I put it on your I did a pull request so we can actually click on this. The reason that there's not a new one here, even though it is scheduled for later, is because we haven't hit the function yet. So let's see here. So there's our functions loading, because our portal is working okay. Come on, portal.
You know, I've hit that, by the way, that I don't know. I've hit an error where it said like type name is not okay, and basically like redeploying or restarting the app.
Did it? All right, so I'm gonna hit the update shows. I think it did it. Let's refresh. The question is, did John put the new ASP.NET Live stand-up in the correct? No, hold on. All right, so let's do this. So let's do the functionality then. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We are going to, so don't change it yet. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a new. I'm gonna add something new in here. I'm gonna create a new logic app. Okay. Yeah. Now the cool thing about logic apps, or they're kind of like, I like to think of them as if this then that. Okay. So we're gonna call this the live stand-up logic app dev. It's a great name for it.
And is this one of those where it has to be like it's only letters allowed, no
something like that? Yeah. So we're gonna create it in live.net, so put it there. And now what's cool is that if I go over to YouTube playlist RSS feed, and then I go .NET Foundation YouTube, what we should see is that we have a playlist over here, and that playlist is, there's ASP.NET Community Standups, .NET Community Standups, Xamarin.NET Community Standups. We have all these. You can view the playlist. Okay. So we can see the ASP.NET one is not in there for this afternoon, and that's why it's not showing up. But there is a sneaky way of appending on the basically playlist ID to get an XML feed, which is beautiful. So check this out. So playlist ID is this. Boop. This here. Boop. And boom, we get an RSS feed. Now, what's great about the RSS feed is every time we add something, update something, this puppy's going to update. So what this means is now,
I just have to say, RSS feeds are so unappreciated. Like, they're not hip and trendy, and like, you know, there's no, because you know, there's people aren't subscribing to blogs and all this blah blah blah, but there's still, you can wire so much stuff together.
Yep. And they're beautiful, and it's going to work great with this logic app, which I think is cool. So what I can do here is I can create a blank logic app, and there's all these connectors and triggers. So here I'll just say RSS, and I'm going to create a new RSS trigger, and I'll just paste it in there. So now I have this RSS, and I can say, hey, update this every, I don't know, every 15 minutes or so. What do you think? Every 30 minutes? I don't know. Like, you know,
I mean, is it rate limited? Might as well go 15.
Do one every, let's see if it does.
5?
5, yeah. I guess it did default to 5. I'll do 1 for right now, just so we can test it and see it in action.
Right.
So it'll just check this RSS feed constantly, right? Just but up. And then we can have it do something. So it's literally if this and that. And additionally, what's cool is that you can have these, you can add parameters, you can like get the time zone, the start time, you can do a bunch of stuff. But then what you can do is you can take information from this and then pass it into an action. And you could do logic on it, hence the words logic app. So a good idea is like, let's say you said, whenever Hanselman tweets something, do sentiment analysis on this, and then sentiment analysis on this, and then if the sentiment is greater than 30, do this, else do this, right? So there's like a branching tree structure that you can do. So but we're just going to use like honestly like the most easiest thing, which is call an Azure function. And what I do inside the Hanselman one is I have a logic app that listens to a bunch of RSS feeds for his podcasts and takes the URL of the podcast and passes it to a function automatically for me. And then I have one function that has like an in parameter, which is cool.
Yep. Okay.
But check this out. So now we're literally just going to say, call that function, done. Like, just did it.
So wait, that's saying, sorry, you're saying when it changes? Or how are we keying it off so that it's actually only updating when the RSS feed changes?
So that's the default of RSS when a feed item is published. So whenever there's a new feed item that's added on there. Now, I don't know if this is when it changes. That's what we need to test, actually.
Yep.
But I believe so, because the RSS feed would change. Like if you removed an item or added an item, like it would be changed. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So this is saying like whenever anything changes on this RSS feed, call this. Now,
cool.
I also like this because it knows about my Azure subscription, so I'm not pasting a URL. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm just saying call this thing, do it. So, cool. I mean, that should just do it basically. And
so now you could run that, and I can add it to the playlist.
Yeah. So go ahead and add it to the playlist while I check my door really quick.
All right.
All right. Everyone waits. All right. And
okay.
I'm back.
Can we see it actually update? Can you see the logic app say like, oh, wake up and run? And
great idea. So here, when you go into your logic app, you can see in and when it has been run over here. So we set it to every minute. So ideally, every minute we should see some stuff. All right, let me grab the door and then let's wait. Packages. Oh.
He's running FedEx over there.
Why do I order so much stuff from Amazon? I don't understand. Oh, geez. All right. So let's see. So ideally, this should run if I've configured it correctly. And hoping.
Yeah, it says frequency every minute.
Every minute. It should hit it. Now, if I do come back to this, the last thing we saw was Windows Desktop and this. I'm way up, I feel blessed. Did you add it to the...
I did add it. I mean, yeah, how do we...
There it is. All right. So the question is, did the actual RSS feed update? Let's go ahead and put it into a incognito. I'm PJ. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Here.
The question in the chat too is every minute a little bit overkill. And yeah, we set it to every minute now while we're testing. And then once we get it running and stuff, we'll back that off.
So the question ends up becoming, how long does it take YouTube to update the RSS feed? You know what I mean?
Yeah, good point.
Because it has updated here, which is good. And then it says here, that's because get the updated feed URL should be here. All right, so that should work. And I'm not sure how long it takes now YouTube to necessarily update their feed, because it has not updated yet. But so these runs, there's no runs because it'll only show runs when they've like actually executed it, right? So here you can say, you can actually see it's been run 8 times already.
Wow.
Right? So it's sitting here and it's checking. Or whatever.
It says status skipped. I wonder what that. Maybe because nothing changed.
Yeah, it could be. So this says it's there. Maybe, did I change it to 1 second? Let me go back into the designer. I hope I didn't change. 1 minute, yeah. So I think here, basically for all intents and purposes, this here should really do it, and we should probably do it every 30 minutes. But this should, if the RSS feed updates, which it has not. So
disappointing.
I mean, come on. I mean, I'm just saying, it's not. This one's not my fault.
Well, should we move on to another thing and then like see if it updates in the next? Yeah,
we can do that. So let's keep it here at like, let's say 5 minutes and save it, and then we can come back to it, and that's how it should work for all intents and purposes. When that thing happens, it calls update show, which I'm not going to run, and it should work. And I know that works because I've definitely done it inside of the Hanselman apps and things like that. So as long as this RSS feed updates, which who knows what their cache level is on it.
Oh, you know what? Does it may add it to the end. For some reason, I've seen that with the playlist, when I add stuff on, sometimes it adds it to the very end.
Here says August 27th, right?
Yes.
It's not in there yet. Just June 27th. I'm going to imagine that it's going to update at some point, YouTube, and then we'll go from there. Because it has the last week's in there. So the only question that we need to ask ourselves that we don't know is...
we feel lucky.
Are we feeling lucky? Is, will it show videos that haven't happened yet? My assumption is yes. And if not, then we need to basically call this every so many times. And then we can change it to a different type of trigger where it's like yours, where it just runs it every X whatever minutes or whatever, you know what I mean?
Right.
So we don't know.
Yeah, that's okay.
We don't know. But we can sit and wait, I guess, and then later today, after you've done it, we can see if it updates it. But I was hoping that it would put it on there. YouTube playlist, live show RSS. Yeah, so if not, I will look that up and try to figure it out, because it seems as if there is. Import all of your... Yep. No. I'm hoping that works. If not, what we'll end up having to do, if this doesn't actually update, is we will have to call the function every 3 minutes or whatever and not use the Logic app, which is also okay too. You know what I mean? We can just say, hey, every 30 minutes or whatever, call the...
and that's what I did in mine. I have the webhook based and the timer based.
And additionally, this Logic app would still be useful, right? We could say, hey, use this Logic app as sort of a backup, more of an on-demand type of thing, because we could say, hey, run this function every 30 minutes or every hour, you know what I mean? And then what you can do is then say, all right, well, or, you know, the Logic app is going to sit here and check every 5 minutes. So as soon as YouTube updates, then do it on demand so it's more instantaneous. So, yep. Anyways, all right. I'm hoping that works, but it's looking like maybe not. Sad. Okay. Yeah, maybe because it's scheduled. If so, that's sad. Oh, remove. Oh, because I'm logged in. Okay. All right, John. So what are you gonna do? What else are we gonna work on?
Okay. Well, what's on our board here? So we had.
Go over to you over here. Boop.
Okay.
Boop.
We're back to sharing me.
You are back now.
Okay. So let me see. We had. Okay. So this Logic app RSS to trigger, we'll put that in progress. Can we show, let's see, we talked about moving logic from the model into the function. I kind of forget what that was. And we also said moving, oh, maybe this is duplicate here. Regular expression calculated fields from site to function.
Oh, yeah. I think that what we wanted to do was we wanted to do it, I think, a little bit of both. So I think removing the logic from the model into the function, and also doing the regex and adding, like, having the regex in multiple ways. So right now, I think we're just checking for one, or the URL list, but we also wanted to check for one tab or whatever too.
Yeah.
In there. And then, but I think that kind of has a lot to do with this, where we remove. So what can we remove and put into the function? You know what I mean? So our review,
right.
by the way, started to look at this right here, this community links URL. And Rowan says, hey, I see that you're parsing this every single time someone loads a website, you're parsing this. You're doing a regex on every single entry, but that data never changes from the server. So why are we doing it there?
Right. So instead, our function, like we could do this in the function every whatever it updates, and it's stored in our JSON file, and it's just, yeah, that makes sense.
So I think here we can say, okay, what do we need to remove and put into a like extension method, sort of like in the function, sort of,
Yeah. Okay. So let's look at this. We've got our function calls in, says service get shows. So really, that would probably be inside the service, I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Right. So inside the service, when we go and get the shows, we could be doing playlist. Like here's an example where we do playlist item to show. We could possibly do that kind of.
Yeah.
So,
but here's my thought on it. Is what if we created on the model extension methods? You know what I mean? That on it's like on a show, like we create extension methods that says update community links URL, get whatever I mean, and then sets this property. You know what I mean?
Wouldn't that still be running every time the page is hit?
No, we would call those extension methods from that thing that you just showed.
Okay.
Yeah, that is kind of my thought, is like we could keep all the logic for this model shareable technically for some reason if we wanted to. Or not, we could just move it all out, right? We could just say, hey, move it all out, and then boom.
No, that's fine. That's interesting. I mean, this that could be useful because
I'm thinking here, right, is like here we could pass in the model, which then has the description, and then we could just go from there. I don't know.
On the other hand, I'm thinking this through. Who's going to be using the shared thing? I mean, the function is updating it. The website and the mobile app are, so we don't really, nobody else really needs to be able to parse all this stuff.
Okay. So why don't we just remove it then?
Okay. So this instead would go into here. Wait, no. Let me close some stuff I'm not using.
I think it goes in. They close it all.
All right. Close everything, huh?
Close it all.
Close them all. Close all but. All right.
Okay.
So in the function then calls into the service, and the YouTube show service, I think, is where we want to
do it.
Yeah. So
here what you could do is then maybe create a new method that says fill in details or whatever. Like after this,
okay.
Right?
Question. This playlist items to shows, where are we calling this from? Find all references.
Oh, right there on 97.
97.
Yep.
So update live. So here we're already doing some kind of fix up stuff, right? Update live streaming details.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is a place where we just update other stuff. Although, maybe we need some comments on the methods themselves. Like, I forget, what is update live streaming details even doing?
So this basically gets additional data for shows that have not started streaming yet. I'm pretty sure. It's additional information about shows that are actively streaming or scheduled. Because remember, like, it didn't actually give us a bunch of data yet.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So that would be cluttering this one up to put them in here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or no?
Yep. That's correct.
Okay. So instead, so we do, all right. I'm getting some crashiness.
I also want to comment that the RSS feed did update, but nothing's been triggered yet. So I'm just saying.
Okay.
I've been monitoring, so I'm very excited. I bet there's a cache.
Exciting.
There's probably a cache. Yeah. So that's good. So that's what that does, because it says, because we query the playlist shows, and the playlist has some data, but it doesn't have all the data for the scheduled or currently happening shows. That's what that is.
Okay.
Yeah. And then here, I think that we execute this stuff here, and then that playlist items to shows, I think that is where we can do that. I think you're right. So this is taking the YouTube stuff, and then it's turning it into a show. It's mapping it.
Yeah.
Now, since we're just doing a link query here, some of these we're not going to obviously be able to like do the regex there. So what we'd want to do is loop over it probably.
Yeah, or we could, the way we're doing URL equals get video URL and stuff like that. We could have like an extension method or whatever, or just a method that says.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So we could say like something like whatever, community links URL equals blah blah blah, right?
Yeah.
So the way we're setting community links URL, that is currently a calculated, I don't know what you call it.
The regex.
Yeah. So instead, we could say community links URL equals get community links URL or something.
Yeah. I think so. And passes in something.
Yeah.
Description, basically.
Okay. So I'm trying to think how to neatly type this.
I think you just rip. So I would just turn that in. So I would rip that logic out of there. You know what I mean?
Just rip all this out.
Yeah, just rip out everything in the getter.
Oh yeah. So the get is just going to be get semicolon set semicolon basically, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So if you were to just do that.
I forget the syntax. Let me see.
Right below it.
There you go.
Yeah, it gets that. Did you just delete your?
Fortunately, we've got the Visual Studio clipboard history. Yep. So, okay, so now what we want to do is set that actually inside that other method, right? So we'll say equals. And then one way I could do this is throw it in here and then refactor it, right? So
I would just do like a new method, right?
Yeah. Okay.
They call it get community links URL, just like we did get video URL. And then that should take in the item.snippet.description. Boop.
Okay.
Then can you generate that?
Yeah. Boop.
Boop. Perfect.
Okay, so now I can there's a few ways I could do this. There's so many clipboard histories these days. Okay, so there's Control-Shift-V.
Okay.
Oops, and I can go 2.
Nice. Perfect.
Isn't that neat? And then there's Windows V on Windows 10.
Oh, that's your global. See, that one's a little bit scary because that has all your history of everything you've done on your Windows.
I know. Who knows what I'd be pasting in there?
Yeah.
And then I also, just because I'm a dork, I also have this thing called DittoDB, which is another clipboard history thing, and that saves all kinds of stuff, including pictures, like screenshots, all kinds of stuff, and it's searchable.
Oh, gotcha.
And
Okay.
it survives reboots also, which is
Oh,
kind of
cool. All right.
yeah. All right. So okay, so now I think we could say something like if
Then you can get rid of that one, that second if check, because we're not caching it around, so we don't need it.
okay. All right, now do a little control dot business. Okay, so now
Instead of setting it, just return it, right?
I'm not even seeing if. Oh yeah, return.
Yeah, return match.value. And then else return null.
Yep. Okay. Cool.
And then I think the other thing that you can do there too is, oh, I see. Yeah, Smob was saying that he likes Windows V because it survives reboots and crosses machines. Yeah,
Ah,
scary for a streamer because
who knows what you're
who
doing?
knows what you've copied? Yeah. So I don't even know if you need the else because you're just gonna return. You don't need it.
What will if we don't return? What happens? It's going to have a code path that doesn't return, right?
No, I mean just remove the else and just leave return null. Yeah, just you don't need and index that in, format that puppy. There you go. So now now the
Control.
other now the other thing you can do is also, instead of doing the URL list, you can also do one tab as well. So if it doesn't match the URL list, you can also do match one tab.
Yeah. So so there's a few ways we could do that. Probably the best is, I mean, we could copy this. Yeah.
Yeah.
We could also do a crazier regex, but that would be harder to maintain.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Okay, so in that case, it's, I don't know, I gotta look up the one tab.
One dash tab.
Okay, so it's just all right.
Yeah, and then I think you just remove the var, right? And then boom. Now we're good to go. So if it matches the URL list, use that. If it matches one tab, use that. Done.
Nice. So this brings in those older ones. Okay, so there's that. Now we've simplified that one. Do we want to? I guess there's nothing else.
I think that we can remove the topic. So I think, okay, so go back to your community links thing in your show. So I think now you can remove that JSON ignore from there and that other string, right? And I think what we want to do is, to be honest with you, like if we look here, those has display title, those should all be removed too. Like they shouldn't be removed, but they should be getters and setters, and we should move that logic into that place right there. Because that data is never going to change. So why are we doing it every single time, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we throw in the get set on all those, and we. All right. So, all right. And so display title equals that.
Oh.
Get rid of that JSON ignore. All right. And so there, and we go up to this. Equals, paste some junk I don't need, and some I do. Okay, so topic, where are we getting topic from? Oh, that's actually not as easy because topic is coming from that other thing, right? Topic is
Topic
this.
is up there, yeah.
So do we do that again? Do we move topic into the other one too? All right. I'm not sure about this.
Well, I think that's why this is going to be better to honestly, like right now we're trying to put it all in this regex, but honestly, what's going to be way easier, John, is to just create another method that calls like update update, you know, update metadata, right? And then we loop through all of them, and then we just do all this functionality there. That's all.
Okay.
And I think that's what we do. So
So undo what I was just doing there.
I think that what you do, here's my thoughts. Go back to here's my thoughts, and hear me out here. Go back to that show thing. Now, inside the service, yeah. See, I think the get community links, that works because we're just passing in another field and then going from there. But now for the other ones, we're using like a calculated thing. So I think what we do is, instead of just returning that, I would do var items equals. And then at the end, return the items, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But then I would do for each item in items. And then let's fix it up, right?
Yeah. Okay. So just do it in this, or I mean, there's clever like link UAs items for each or whatever, right?
Yeah. I mean, I love link queries. Don't get me wrong.
I love link. Like...
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
And then it's like through all of these, then we'll just,
Oh, what are, so it's just var.
Yeah, var item. So now what I would do is I would start like, let's look at the top, and let's look at the topic, right? So we can rip the topic out of there.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's literally get set.
Yeah. Boop.
Boop.
All right, and then get rid of my JSON ignore and get rid of my backing field. Okay, so then we can say blah, 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 topic equals.
Yeah, you can get rid of that and get rid of those gets, all that stuff out of there.
Yeah. Okay, so then we could say like if blah, 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 topic equals.
And get rid of that, right?
No, don't need that.
And then, remove the return out of there. Oh, then that would be item.title.
Okay.
Which we do have.
And, okay.
And then you can say item.topic equals that. See what I'm saying? It's like, here's some final cleanup, like put a comment in there like above that, which would be like calculating topic, right?
Yeah.
That's what I would think we do.
Yeah, sure. Centralized.
Yeah. So like, here's a bunch of cleanup code that we could do anywhere else. Like, this could be way cleaner and cleverer, but at the same time, it's not bad.
It's being set once and for all too.
Yeah.
It's like it's a central place. Okay, so then we have that display title, same sort of thing, I guess.
Yeah. Now we have the topic and we have the title, so now we can just do the display title, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we could even.
Right. That.
Cool.
And then item.topic.
Yeah.
Whatever. Right? Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, all right, how do you really clean this up? And it needs to be a getter setter, I assume.
Yeah. Well, it is moving. Otherwise, we have logic scattered across several different places.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So now the whole goal is, and I think you can do it for the one above it too.
Yeah.
So
I'm just looking.
Yeah, has display title, right? Again, it's like, why calculated it again?
Yeah. And some of these, I think we went a little bit crazy with some of all these, like, do you really need all these fields? Maybe not. You know what I mean? Like, I partly went for that because it was like showing how great it was to have, with your page model, you can put a lot of calculated stuff in it.
Yeah.
But then,
why calculate it every time?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Like that. Easy peasy. Yeah. And what else do we got in there? So that gets rid of that. And I believe that so the only thing that we don't want to change is anything with time on it.
So the new and all this stuff, we actually do need to calculate each time.
We do need to calculate every time, so we can go over those. But that has links we can do.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Clean up.
Windows Ving that. What is happening?
When your clipboard, it takes you longer to paste something than
yeah, exactly.
There you go.
So this has links.
Which again, like it's like those things are totally things that you could calculate in the browser on your mobile app. But then also, why? You know, I think that's why what Owen was saying is like, why are you calculating this every time? I'm like, well, because it's sort of like how I've always put it in my mind, right? Item dot. Yeah, I've always put it in my mind like, oh, just like calculate these things on demand. But then when the server could just be doing that, it's going to always be a lot faster.
Yeah, I think in some cases too, where some of these properties are maybe used once, this could even just be in the Razor, where it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we could probably get rid of some of those properties.
True, but then also, then the page itself again is calculating those things.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
How about category?
Category can be removed, yeah.
So same thing we could do.
Yeah. I think just all that. Besides that first. Header setter.
Okay, I'm gonna try and be a little more clever here. I don't know about this. I think sorry. Let's do. Oh man. I was up late last night typing.
Okay. Dude, pushing out code. Crushing code.
I know. I was happy at work though. Okay. There. Okay, so this and get rid of the backing field. Okay, category equals blah blah blah.
Beautiful. Maybe put that in a maybe create a function for that one.
Okay.
Because it does a bunch of if statements. I don't know. I think so. Like get category. Yeah.
And what do we pass into it? It's like title.
I think this dot title. Yeah, item dot title. Yeah.
All right. I do love this the way that you can like, I forget what it's called, but you like type the code that you want to be there and then generate the stuff, you know. It's
automagical refactoring.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. You know what I could do? Look at this.
This.
And then for all of these, so I can just say here string category and return.
There you go.
Equals and string.empty, or I forget what we say. If there is no category, do we just say
oh, I don't know what we did. Let me look. We did, I guess null. It defaults to null, right? So
yeah.
All right. Null is fine.
All right.
Yeah, that's fine. There you go. Yeah, just return category. And yeah.
Now I have one other trick up my sleeve here, which is to make this slightly prettier. Oh, because this could be unassigned.
Oh.
I could do string equals null, or do string.empty. All right, so now this should really be like that, and then I can do. Why didn't there it is?
I gotta do rename first.
Oh my goodness.
Control Z that puppy.
Okay. Rename.
And you know, I thought it used to do that. I thought it used to. If you did rename it, I thought it actually did it, but I guess
there it is.
And then Joe Boo is asking, why not else if? That's a good question. I guess those all should be else ifs.
Yeah. Well, Oh yeah. You know what? All these should just be return.
They all should be returned. And then else return null, I guess. Can you multi-char it? I don't know how to do that.
I don't know, but I know I can do this.
I do. That's how I do it.
Current document. You got to be careful. Don't return for the entire.
That's true. And then, yeah, you messed up. Yeah, then you remove that whole line, right?
Yeah. Oh, look at that. It gets a lot nicer.
Yeah, boom.
All right.
Cool.
That's getting, actually, I'm seeing, this is getting nicer. What about start time humanized? That's date based, so we still do need to.
That one's good. That. And maybe we move all those down to the bottom, all like the date based ones, you know what I mean? Just so like all the JSON ignores are all together. Okay. Kind of like that idea, just so it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, those.
You, like basically sweep it under the carpet. Yeah. Like we want to hide it. So maybe Rowan won't page down enough. He won't see these.
So this is good, I think, in general, because that's good.
Cool. Okay, so that did get cleaned up. Is that good enough? Do we mark this one done?
I think we mark it as done.
All right, let's take a look.
And we clean it all up. Good to go.
All right.
Also, if you want to refresh the live.net website.
Oh my goodness.
Da-na-na-na.
That's so exciting. Okay, that's very cool. So we already had moved this. We can move this over to here. Done. And then
remove logic. Yep. And then the next one, remove logic. Beautiful.
So this one is important, right? We want to show the next show in the banner.
And if we get this done in the next 45 minutes, we can push a new version of the website live and we could see it.
That is cool. All right. That is quite exciting. So how on earth are we going to do that?
So I guess, so maybe let's do a check-in really quick and let's check in this code now that we have it.
All right. Let's save all the business.
Definitely save that. Maybe rerun it locally on your website.
Yeah. All right. So let us switch to the.
Oh, also inside of your project settings, did we update the URL in the settings JSON?
In the project settings.
App settings. So right now it's calling the function, but I was thinking that we could, instead of calling the function there, run against a live one.
Okay.
So that would be, I can grab you that URL.
Yeah, and I was wondering about this myself. That get function, like it includes a key, and but on the other hand, it's something where I don't care if people are. I don't expect anyone to abuse or like, you know what I mean? It's like, and all it's doing, it's so lightweight. It's reading a JSON file and returning it.
Yeah.
So I don't really consider that a secret. I consider it just a URL to.
The RESTful endpoint.
Yep. Okay. So you're gonna send me over.
Yeah,
that URL?
I'll send it over into the. Where do you want me to send it? I'll send it in the Twitch chat. How does that sound?
Oh, okay. Exciting.
Exciting. All right, here we go. And there you go.
Someone's going to DDoS it.
I know.
Those endpoints are so fast. It's crazy.
Very fast.
Okay. There we go.
And then this way you could pull down the website now. You could pull down this GitHub repo and then boom, it would just work basically. Yeah.
I do like this too. This is, so I went back and forth with that with my URL endpoint, my API endpoint. And it's like, it's public basically. We've just put it in Twitch and we put it on here. But if somebody was abusing it, we could regenerate we could change out the key. You know what I mean? So it does give you a little bit more like control over it.
Yeah.
So there you go. Okay, so I could run this now. I can set this as startup.
Yeah, and I think the website is using the correct implementation. Should work.
While it's running, let me tell you about the funny mistake I was making last night. I kept changing things and running stuff, and the function. Oh, no, okay, that's all good. The function was not updating. I kept calling the get, and it was returning an empty thing. And it turned out the problem was that it was I was running against local storage. Like, you know what I mean? My local function was running against local storage, and I kept hitting the endpoint in the cloud, and they were not updated.
Yep.
All right, so this is my local one.
Yep. And this is good because what's happening here is there's missing data because our backend is now setting that data instead of the website. So there are blank things, which is correct.
Okay.
See how there's no title?
Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
but shouldn't it be getting that from? I'm not thinking this through. It's being set in this function, right?
I mean, we haven't updated the backend.
Oh, we haven't published it. Yeah.
If you wanted to really validate it, what we could do is run the function, put that URL back,
Mhm.
and then go from there. That's probably the right way to do it.
Okay.
Not on this one.
So,
This is your .NET website.
oh my goodness, let's get rid of that. I was like, what? I don't see it. None of this code makes any sense. Trying to close. Come on. There we go. Okay, let's go over to this one. Let's go over to this one. App settings. So here we can Control Z that.
Yeah, I guess if we really want to test it correctly, spin up the function, then spin up the website, go from there.
All right, so here, so I can do
Run without debug, probably.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. Debug. Run without debugging. Bugs me every time. Or I could Control F5. All right. So now I actually have to ping that, I believe. Oh, and I get a...
Oh, you didn't do the function. You did the website again.
Goodness.
I think you can do it from the drop-down. See the drop-down next to your debug? Can you just change that? So one more to your left, one more to your left. Oop, right? And then you just do it from there.
Look at all that stuff.
That's your startup project. Then
Yeah.
you can run without debug.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's okay.
Then you can just refresh the website.
There were build errors, so
good thing we just tested this because
people joke about that. I think Nick Craver always says that. Why would I want to run the previous thing that? So, oh my gosh, this is from my find replace.
That's great. That's because the problem is the multi-caret editing. I don't know what the key press is.
It's Alt something or other, and I can never remember it.
I have no idea. Someone's gonna put it in
there. Okay, so now my mouse is not responding as much. Okay, debug.
Yeah, and Joe is also saying we could do multi-startup projects. Yeah,
that is true. And I do like to do that. Like when we do the ASP.NET workshops, I usually set that up. Okay, so now I think we want to call update shows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's on a different port.
7 something.
Yeah, maybe do a new tab. It should be in your history.
Yeah. So there's get shows and update shows.
And you did it.
Did I?
Yeah. It doesn't return anything, so.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah.
The magic of it not returning anything.
Should it?
Yeah.
All right. There's some shows.
I mean, I think it would return. It does actually return something. I think it returns a. I'm going to look here really quick. YouTube stand-up function. It returns nothing. It does return nothing. So it could return a success code.
Yeah, I was going to say you could do.
Probably.
All right. So here's our local, and here we do have.
There you go. And you got
community. Oh my gosh,
links.
an hour for now. Yep.
Yeah, it's happening.
All right, things are good.
So now we can check this code, and I feel pretty good.
Yep. Notice I checked my extended character support with Sebastian Ross.
Ooh, yeah. I like that. Nice.
I do feel like we're not quite taking as much advantage of Unicode as we could be.
True.
I don't know exactly how, but I feel like we should be. Okay, so let's go into our Team Explorer. Everything's stopped. Let me make sure everything's stopped. Okay, let us look at Uh,
Home.
that always sort of,
It
it's like,
throws me. It throws me. It throws me.
all right. So what did we update? Just the model and the service. That's it.
That's it.
Okay. Okay. So, oh, which number? I try to do this more often, by the way. So that was fixing 23. That's issue 23,
Issue
right?
23. Yeah.
Okay. Um, moved logic to function. Do fixes. So there's these magical things. If you include them in your commit message, it'll close an issue, which is nice, I guess. All right. Although, will it remove it from our Kanban board?
Good question.
I'm still happy, by the way, my SMIME signing or whatever, it's still signing all my commits.
Did you do a blog on that? You should probably do a blog on that.
I should. All right.
Just saying.
Yep. Okay. So now let's just verify. Let's check out. There it is. Yeah. See, look at that. Fixes 23. So then if you go to 23, it shows it's closed by that commit.
Oh, nice. All right. And then I'm looking here. You push that. All right. So the CI is kicked off for the website and the function. Then I'll deploy it.
But we still wanted to do something else, which was we wanted to show the.
Oh yeah, you need to do the front end stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So right now on that website, so if you go to the website, it's not showing the name of the next show, which is probably what we want to do, right?
Right.
So like I said, right now it says next episode, but then people need to like figure out what it is.
What is it? Yeah, and we could link. I wonder. Well, it's right here, but this is nice that it says upcoming.
Yeah.
I mean, really, people are being a little bit lazy. Next episode, it's right here. I mean, come on, Sebastian. Right here.
It does say 1 hour from now. Just saying.
Right.
Just saying.
Okay. So you're saying I need to get going?
I don't know. What do you? I mean,
need to get to work. No. I'm okay. So here, it's in the view.
Okay.
I still have this weird thing with these GCSs, by the way. Those are annoying. Okay. All right. So there's the on air. Has upcoming shows. And then here, it could show. What exactly?
Next. Oh, I see. Next episode streaming live on.
Streaming live on, and then here at start time, blah, blah, blah. So what do we want to say instead of that? It's an H2. We could just, next episode, it could say next episode, new line, the title, and then new line, and then the date time.
Maybe instead of next episode, why isn't it just like,
You're
why
right.
don't you put, yeah, instead of next episode, we do the title of it, then streaming live on, then the time, right?
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
So blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, and I'm thinking we'll see how it looks. So we can say model dot upcoming show.
Mm-hmm.
I need an @ sign.
And that's kind of nice because what's happening here is we're calling a function in the JavaScript to get that start time. It's being calculated and updating on there.
Yep.
And
so now I'm going to need to run all my business again. I don't need to run the function because the function is kicked off.
Is it still running?
I don't know.
Is it still running in your command prompt?
Nah, I killed it.
Okay.
But I'm wondering, we checked it in, so it may be live on the. You know what I'm saying? The function may have deployed.
Yeah.
All right, let's just be. Oh, but I haven't changed my URL anyhow.
Ooh.
All right, so let us go debug. Start with that debugging. Spin up that function.
I also say we broke a bunch of our unit tests. Because
I knew those unit tests were going to be a problem. Should never have done that.
Problem 1, have unit tests. So we'll come back to it.
All right, so now debug, start with that debugging, get that website going.
Because the unit tests,
Our testing directly into.
yeah, they're all like, well, it's really big. So maybe instead of, oh, I have a better idea. So
We actually use those calculated fields.
yeah, so I think it should be this display title, right? So I think what we can do here is write a little bit of logic, because I think that what we should do here on there is do, instead of the title, it should be the display title.
Yeah, I think if we
But
just do that.
we should do some logic and say if has title. No, what we have this in here. Hold on. Because I don't think we want to display that full thing. If it doesn't have a display title, which would be like the HTTP REPL, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because that's so long. We don't need to see. Yeah, there you go. See, so I think what we want is, if it says, if we have a display title, so that little HTTP thing, then do this is what we just did here. But if we don't have one, just say next episode streaming live on.
Right.
Because that means that it could be like next week it'd be like Xamarin Community Standard. We just haven't set the title yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we can do
Probably an if statement in it, probably.
Yeah. All right. And if we need to do if I'm blanking on the thing. If I do, I need an @ sign here.
I think so. I think you need an @ in there.
If model or string blah blah blah.
If model dot upcoming show dot has display title.
Right.
Then do that. Else.
Yep.
Next episode streaming live on.
Yeah. All right. So I could do something like that. Do something like that.
Yeah, and you have to use.
Yeah. And then I could just do this streaming live on. Yeah. It's neat how it reformatted. And I think we could pretty it up too. We could include the category title or something, but whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it's right there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it looks really pretty here, this whole like upcoming and the ASP.NET, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, you're right. This is fine.
Do you think that streaming live on should be like should be just like on its own line?
Yes.
And then we can just like factor that out basically.
Oh, right. For both of these. I wonder if this shouldn't be an H2, but an H3.
Probably.
And then with that, we could do something like this. That may be horrible. Let's find out. Oh, what happened? It did not. What on earth? How did I mess that up? Maybe I didn't say. Strong streaming live on. Oh, you know what? I think we're doing some magical JavaScript that rewrites all.
You are, yeah.
Okay, so
it'd be very long though. That's the only problem, right? If you look now in there, it's going to be extremely long.
You're right. So I could do something like this. So I could do something like that. This is the kind of thing where I would sit with a cup of coffee and I would stare at it and then I would scratch my beard and I would say, I think this could be like this instead or whatever. It's getting better, right? Maybe? No, it's a lot. It's weird too with it kind of strangely centered and stuff.
Yeah. Janice Hughes saying next donut streaming live on other line. Display. Oh,
And
I
then
see.
the title.
I see. Yeah. So what you could do here is okay. This is a good idea. And
Okay.
then
I'm not seeing because I'm
okay.
next.
Do this. Yeah. I think I get it. So do an H2 header above it.
Above all this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then do an H2 header that says fancy. Next.
.NET Community Stand Up.
At model.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Model upcoming show. Category. Yeah. Stand up. .NET stand up. Well, yeah, I think stand up. Yeah. So next Xamarin stand up. Next ASP.NET stand up. Boom. And then you could say streaming live. Maybe just say live on, right? Like. Oh yeah, it'd be kind of weird if it's like the display title underneath it.
You mean like this?
I don't like that. I think it's just
okay.
Next Xamarin stand up, like next ASP.NET stand up, right? And then remove the else.
Okay. All right.
Right. So if it has a display title, show the display title, else not, and then remove the H3, and then you could just say, yeah, that. But
and then
H2 that again.
Let's see what it looks like. I think you're right, but I need to see it. Look terrible first.
And then maybe it's like in like topic is right instead of just the
yeah. Okay.
Maybe that's an H3 too. Topic.
Right. And this is something where I'd want to mess with some Bootstrap styling too. I think this could be prettied up more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like take a look at what built-in tiles.
Topic, yeah. And then we should go into that JavaScript and see how this is reformatting it because it's very bold, right? Like there should be like another like a break in between there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like live on, like underneath it, like
you mean this right here?
Yeah, like there needs to be a break in there.
Oh yeah.
And then he's saying do category live stand up instead of just stand. Yeah. Next,
okay.
Blah 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 live stand up. Yeah, I like that. That's fine.
And then
I think a break after the
okay. I'm trying to think what the best HTML way to do it is. I don't like breaks, but fine.
I'm a big fan of breaks. Just add those breaks in there. You need a new line. Break it. Put an empty div.
Well, so it should be like they should be in paragraphs or something, or they should be.
Maybe.
You know, or like.
Oh yeah, like 2 paragraphs basically.
Some sort of semantic thing.
Oh, like so much.
That's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
We could link this.
You could.
I mean, doesn't hurt. So that would be blah blah blah.
I guess maybe we could link the
just the show title, or what?
What if there is no show title?
Yeah.
You could also link the like upcoming next ASP.NET Live stand up. You could link that whole text. I guess.
I bet that's gonna look ugly.
It's gonna look ugly.
Yeah. Let's not do it. Yeah. Okay.
I like that.
Are we ready? So we can. Is that all we needed to do?
Did you H3 the countdown time too? So it's like at least the same.
Yes, it looks too much.
H4 maybe.
Right. Okay. Countdown time. Sorry.
Yeah. What does that look like? H3 that.
Oh, was it already H3?
It was H2, but then.
And then I changed it, and then I forgot what I did. Okay.
Those are the same now, I think.
Okay. So I just very quick.
One more.
Yeah.
Then another break after the time for check back to watch. Just the way it's like 3 individual parts.
All right, now I hear you there.
There's my designer brain coming in.
So the place where it says check back, I think we could be a lot more useful if we actually, should we get, see here, this whole add to iCal thing?
Oh.
Something to think about. Yeah. And there's actually, I've been using like there's this add event. And there's some other things like that make it really easy to subscribe to something.
That's cool.
So it's like add this to your calendar. You know what I mean? So we use add event on the .NET conf site, but it's also easy to just write out in iCal. I don't know.
I like that. That's cool.
Because we do want people, instead of saying check back, they're going to forget. They're not going to forget. All right. Well, why did this not have a break above it? This actually, I wonder, why did we comment this out?
Because we don't have the add to Google URL. Is it because we just have like add to... Yeah, there's like actions and there's functions and stuff in there.
Yeah. Maybe we should add that to our backlog of a maybe nice to have. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I say we just remove that all for now.
Okay.
Rowan hates uncommented or commented out code.
All right then.
Heads up. That's one thing I know for sure. There we go. Now we're talking. Okay, so
that's beautiful, right?
And I just put another breakpoint.
You can't put this then instead of a div should be a section or a P or something.
Your life, man.
See, a div doesn't have is like a box with no padding, no semantic. You know what I mean? It's like, whereas like a paragraph is like it's a block of.
Yeah.
All right, so.
Did not like that. Oh, because it has to be a div because the.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it has to be a div.
Because it's I was like, wow, it looks so nice and clean.
Now, what you could do though, do is you could put that div into a P.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Right?
So, yeah, you're right. Oh, there is a surround with, by the way, refactoring. Okay, let me see if formats. It's like more trouble than it's worth, though.
That is correct.
P?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's just like it wants to help, but it can't help. I typed.
You and your shortcuts, you know what I mean?
Sometimes they work. Okay. I'm still not quite happy with it. This is the kind of thing where I really would want to come back and look at the bootstrapping.
Yeah, the other thing you could do too, though, if you wanted to not put it inside, you could put the P's inside the div, right?
Yeah.
Instead of that breakpoint. So maybe let's do that.
Put the P's just around the countdown?
I would put them, so we want 2 blocks, right? So we want them to be...
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, like right inside, and then also...
And then this would be, instead of that...
Yeah, put a P in there.
And this would be...
And then maybe put one above it, right? Those 2 above it. Yeah, now we're talking. And move that P down.
So this P goes to that.
No,
this div...
no, that P needs to go inside the div. Up top.
Wait, what about that?
No, it's not going. No, because you need that start time later on.
Oh.
Yeah. So you want to put that P inside, like move that P down right inside the div. Right?
Right into here?
Above the H2. Yeah.
Sorry, the H3 you mean?
Above the H2.
I don't even see an H2.
Right there.
Oh, sorry.
Right there. Right there.
There we go.
Because, you know, that's what you were saying. You're like, hey, there's a div and there's like blocks inside of it, right? So block 1 is that H2. The next block is that H3, right?
Hmm.
Well, did you close out
I
that?
didn't close this P, and honestly,
I would close the P after, but before
after
the
this
next.
H.
Yeah, yeah. See,
Okay.
I mean, I don't know anything about the internet, but I'm just thinking
Well,
logically of how you described using the
yeah,
P's of
they're at
chunks,
least
right?
separated
So now,
chunks. Yeah.
if things are correct, then ideally there's spacing in between. I don't know. I could be wrong. I just use breakpoints. And now there's no breakpoints.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, there are some.
There.
But here, get Bootstrap. I want to check out the Bootstrap Jumbotron just to see if they've got anything better for us. Like,
Probably
so for instance, one thing is these horizontal lines are a nice thing. HRs.
not. Ah, that's cool.
See, and then there's, I mean, so there's,
Yeah, so you
there's
could use lines in between for the time. I like that.
yeah, that's going to be a lot better than trying to like,
Yeah.
and honestly, then we could get rid of those stupid paragraphs, which are not really needed. Okay, so you know what I mean? For instance, like
Yeah.
this.
I agree. I hear you. I hear you. I like that. Yeah, that's cool. And then you put that breakpoint right there, right? Yeah, right
Yeah,
there. And another one below it.
like right here.
Yeah. Now let's see the faces.
It's going to be beautiful.
Oh.
Just trust me. I'm going to force push. Okay.
No, John.
Nothing seemed to have
That's
happened.
not looking good. Well, so what Jumbotron are we using? Are we using the right Jumbotron that you just...
Well, no, that's an HR. That should work anywhere. I mean,
Go to the Jumbotron? My4.
yeah, that's a good point. Well, so I mean, but an H4, an HR is just an HR. Meaning that should work anywhere. Okay, let me try if I just get rid of that class. Here, I think it's because I didn't close them. Like that. But I don't know, I may have to mess around with this. Sometimes it gets a little too smart for you. That is wacky. I don't know.
What's the documentation look like? Bootstrap. Jumbo boot.
Yeah, so it's div class Jumbotron, blah, blah, blah. They have all this display for all that stuff. Let's see, are we using Jumbotron? We are Jumbotron. Somehow we're
I wonder if some div is messing it.
yeah, it's quite likely. I want to see too, by the way, if I go here.
Oh, if it's actually there.
Well, or if there's like nah, I was wondering if there's something malformed or something.
You could Control Shift R, I guess, on it.
Nope.
Definitely there.
That's super strange. Inspect. HR. Actually, no, I don't see. All right, so that's plot thickening there.
Oh, do you have to be debugging for that to work?
No, it shouldn't. I mean, I don't know.
No, you know, because we were reloading before.
Yeah. Okay, so HR. I could be just doing something stupid here. So it's not self-closing. Just HR should do it. Okay, so.
I say, I think My4. I think you need the My4.
That seems really weird to me. Because My4 is talking about margin. It's margin.
So do one more thing. Put an HR right under the Jumbotron, right? Like not right under the Jumbotron, but right inside the first div. Like I'm wondering if our other divs are messing up the div. You know what I mean? Like put
You mean like
one up, go up further. Go. Right after div class jumbotron, put an HR in there.
okay?
Just to see, right? Like maybe that div next episode is overriding what the HR looks like.
That's interesting, by the way. They close it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. All right. So I've got that. I've saved it. It could be.
Aha. Oh.
Okay. Now it threw them all in. So now I'm going to take this one out.
Amazing.
How do computers?
What?
I don't. Something's wacky here. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Well, okay. So we did do that, or I think we should commit this
ship it out.
All right. We don't actually know what happened there.
Yeah, I would say also, so commit this code, and then we should look at the unit tests and probably remove a bunch of unit tests.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's do that. Let's go into team.
So I was looking, our unit tests have now, let's look here. We are now going to my tests. We have 30 failing tests.
Kind of a nitpicker today, aren't you? Okay.
I can't push out a new update to the site, John, until we have
no. Okay, so what do we what did we do there? We added added upcoming show details.
Yep.
All right, and there we go. And we do some sync. And we do another sync.
So the problem now is that we have a bunch of tests that query to make sure things are parsed correctly, like from the model, but we're no longer doing it there.
So, yeah.
So that kind of sucks.
Do we delete the tests? Do we move them over to?
Well, I think how it's doing it is, I think we're creating a new. Yeah, see, like.
It's hard to test it now because it's in
Yeah, what we'd have to do is.
We would need to create a new. We would need to create a new show with a bunch of data, and then see if all the calculated fields are set right. Or we could delete these tests.
Yeah, or we could delete. Oh, and your video is green now. That's interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, weird. Yeah, I think what we could do, I don't know.
Should I could stop and start my video. All right, so there you are. Okay, so I'm going to unvideo, revideo. Am I still green?
Coming back.
Oh, wait a second.
Yeah, there you go. Now you're good.
All right.
Cool.
Stop and start.
So I think what we could do is like how we did this, if we remember, I think a better way of doing this, John, is this. Okay, so we need to go into our function and into our YouTube show service. And I think what we need to do is take like that logic there, including the get community show links and stuff like that. And I think we need to refactor this out here, like this for each loop. And what I would do here is move that community links URL equals down into that for each loop. Just for now.
Okay.
Because that's the only thing that we move. So yeah, move that down into our for each. Right.
Yep.
And then we can do item dot loop, paste that in.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. And then, yeah, delete that and then delete the snippet. Okay. So I'll be green again. So now what I think is refactor this code into a
new function, right?
I think a new yeah, that code into a function.
And it takes an item and it does stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so refactor extract method.
Like
the new method will be called like set
fill in.
calculated fields.
Yeah, set. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Calculated show fields.
Okay.
And then what I think you need to do is move that method and all the other methods we use into a shared class. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like inside of the live standup.shared.
Oh, okay. Should they? One way would be they could be extension methods on show.
Probably. Yeah, just do
Um,
that. Yeah, create a new show utils.
Okay.
Right?
Show extension methods?
Yeah, show extension methods.
It's funny, I've had arguments on Teams with whether or not utils is a terrible thing to have or not.
Like, I put utils everywhere.
They're fine. What else are you going to call it? But I still like. Okay, so now we could do these. This could go into there. This could go into there.
That could
all
go
of
into
these.
there. All those. That video URL, I think we'll keep in there for now.
Because that works with the playlist and all that stuff. Okay, so this.
And that one up there.
Yeah. Oops. Got just one line too few. Here, let's do this. This is a trick I like to do. Okay, so now these all need to become extension methods, show extension methods.
Well, probably just the one. So public static class here, right?
Yeah.
Then here you just do paste that puppy in there. And then really the only thing we need to do is the very first one needs to be that.
Okay, so this needs to take
this show.
So I do this show item.
And make that a public static void.
Yeah. Okay, so now we got to do some dot fixing. And then this should need to be
make those statics, right?
Yeah.
Instead of just go static and then done. And those don't need to be extension methods because they're just doing.
Yeah.
Based on what.
And nobody else is ever going to use them.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right.
Boom.
What else broken? So now this could say item dot.
Yeah.
And then this doesn't need to check out this. Yeah, okay, all good. So now we can test it from.
So now in our test, right, when we go to our show test, we need to call this method after the act on all of those, right? So show dot set calculated fields, and then that will do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was my thought, right? It's like you're doing this, now we're going to test that logic and then go from there. And then we just need to copy that into all. Now it's green. Oh, look at that.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's simpler than I was thinking, because I was thinking we would like create a whole thing, like populate all this stuff and call
it all. And this is cool because we now are actually testing our logic. Like we refactored a bunch of code. We actually broke a bunch of stuff. Now we're going to fix it so it does it correct for all intents and purposes.
Or it doesn't, and then yeah. Okay, so this one still failed. Let's see what else. Everything else passed. This one, no, yeah. This one failed because, let's see if we can figure that out why. Has display title. What is our logic on has display title? Should I just rerun that one?
Well, I guess that's a good question. Topic is meet. All right.
Okay, so what's our logic for has display title?
Good question.
Display title is not null or empty.
And display title says if it has a topic, if topic is empty, use the title. And
Otherwise, use the topic.
Yeah, so that should work.
And then these are all failing too.
That's because that thing is failing.
Yeah. I could debug it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, put a breakpoint in the test, right, and then run that test.
Okay. So this it's not super easy to debug that specific test. Okay, let's go to where's my test explorer?
Obviously, it's Control ET.
Ah, okay.
So this is show has title.
Show has title. Debug selected tests.
Yeah, I thought there was an easier way of doing that. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I'm in like a weird state with that.
Yeah, and since the show has a topic, that is the display title. Yeah, that makes sense.
Don't know what it's doing. There it is. Failed. Trying to rebuild here.
Maybe this didn't repass because something is locked currently.
Yeah.
That's my thought.
Where's output?
Maybe because the website's still running or something.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't think it is, but you can see like this happened before. Remember, like the DLL was locked.
Yeah.
But this logic checks out because if you go into that code again, and you go into the show extensions method, so we set the topic. So has display title says as long as
well, wait, if there's a topic, then it uses the title. That seems actually backwards.
Oh, did we copy that logic incorrect? Maybe it's supposed to be if it has a topic.
No, it's saying what it's saying is if the topic is null,
then use the title. Correct. Else use the topic. So that's correct, right?
And so, well, no, because
it is.
Oh, the topic's not null. Yeah, it should work.
And then it's going to use the topic, and then yeah, that's correct. I think something's locked here. I think that's why the unit test is not running correct.
Well, yeah. Not sure.
There you go. Someone says taskkill.net exe.
Yeah, like
this happened before. This happened before. Remember?
Yeah. So I mean, I'll restart VS.
And I don't even know if that's what did it. But my assumption is this .NET just has something locked, right? Like in some command window, and then it's mad at you.
Yes. Actually, I just had a console window open. Let's see if this is doing. This is the.
Maybe that's doing that. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. Very good chance. All right, so now it's trying to redo all the.
Yeah, Joe was saying in the chat, he says it happens when you start without debugging, which makes sense because there's multiple things now using that resource or something perhaps and calling in that DLL. Let's see if it runs. And then also the live unit test runner is trying to execute things, and then other things are trying to do things. But this I mean, my logic in my head is working out, John.
Yeah. Now, I was thinking we might have had it backwards where it was saying if something's null, use the null thing, which wouldn't make sense. Okay. I don't know if I have to.
Those puppies. I don't know. Still failed. That system dot.
Okay, so now let's go into here. Okay, so let's go 10.
Go into that
Okay.
thing, right?
All right, so 11, 10.
Oh, we set the topic here. Ah. So we set the topic right there. See that? Did you see that? What's item.topic? Oh, that's right. Okay, cool. That's good.
Okay.
Okay, that's good.
So, all right. So, does it step into if I do F11? No.
So what's display title now? That's good.
Yeah.
Right. As display title?
True.
Okay.
This is odd.
Oh. Oh, we just got a crasher right there. That's why.
Because of the get category.
Ah, interesting. Wait. Get category. Interesting. Okay, so we just it just crashed. Exception thrown. And that's because why? Title dot the title is null. Item dot title. So maybe we should put a little if title equals if string dot is null or empty, right? Then return null out of that.
Out of get category?
Yeah. If it doesn't have a title, you can't parse the title. It's null.
Yeah. Well, so we do return null.
No.
If string.
What's happening? It threw an exception because title is null.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I could just say only set. What do we do?
Just write inside of your get category.
Yeah.
If string dot is null or white space, return null.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's what I would do. And then just return null, yeah. Good, unit tests are catching stuff because now we've reconfigured logic and stuff, and here we're actually I mean,
just retest, and you see all the. I love that live unit testing, by the way. That's so cool.
So now that's great.
Look at that. Okay. So now these are still broken up here. These all shows have title and on get.
Those are like the page tests, right? I think we don't run those. I don't think on the build pipeline.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't run those. Okay, so now test fixed. Done.
Yeah. So now we can go in here and commit it and okay, so fixed. I don't know, calculated field logic and tests.
I think so, yeah.
Cool. And so once these tests pass, then the pipeline will kick off and it should deploy it all.
Yeah. That's good. Perfect. This is great. Oh, great. Awesome. This is like perfect timing because then I got people coming up, some visitors in from out of town, which is cool.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Rad.
I have as you can see from my public schedule here.
Yes, you have 55 minutes. Actually, no, up there, right? 37. 37.9.
37 minutes. I better get to work.
Yeah. It's funny. We should think about maybe if it's upcoming and it's the current upcoming show, not display that. Figure out the countdown from there. I'm not positive.
Mm-hmm. And, it would be cool, too, to have something more like Signalari or something where it's actually when the show goes live, boop, pops it in.
I agree.
Or even like does a swap out, like the JavaScript in the page goes like, hey, okay, we're at 0 seconds.
Yeah.
Or even a minute before, swap in the.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Cool.
I think this is good. We can move
that over.
Yeah.
And now if we also go over to, let's see, my computer, which nice green John over there, we are building the function. And building the website, so we will see if it will build.
Wow, I am quite green.
Yeah. I think if you just start and small. So I think if you start and stop your video again, it comes back, but yeah. I don't know. NDI. Who knows? The mystery. It's a mystery that any of this stuff works, really, at the end of the day. So this stuff should take about 2 minutes to build. It's building here. 1 minute and 20. Nope, it's still broken. What did we break?
Still broken.
So it says that
Are you sure we're not running those other tests?
Could be. Could be. It says that 27 tests failed. Did you commit those things?
I'm pretty sure. Let me see. I mean,
Edit that code, bro.
sync. Yeah, I did. Pretty sure.
Yeah, still. Well, so now it says less tests are failing, but it still says that some tests are failing.
I bet it's those two that were like the.
Oh, no. This says test file 43 minutes ago. That doesn't seem correct. Let me look at my pipeline. 3 minutes ago.
Fix calculated field logic and tests. That's the one I just.
That's it.
Let me see if there were other changes somehow. No?
27, 10 passed, 27 failed. On populates. Yeah, all shows have title. Index page tests. Unit test, index page tests. I'm wondering if it is. Let's go back to your computer really quick here. Go back to your tests and like let's look at all of your.
All right, stand by here. Okay, so we're here. Going back to my tests.
Yes.
Where is the Test Explorer? Not super easy to find. There we go.
So I think it is those units, those 12 unit tests. Those are all failing. And why are those failing?
Yeah,
so because we didn't call that method on these.
Right. So this one is, it's in the act, and then I
think we need to loop through all of those.
Oh, well, this one only creates one. What is this even doing? This says, this is just a mock, and it only returns one show. And so this one show we just need to do an update on, right? But the show...
We're calling this 25 times. We're putting one show in there?
Yeah, we're saying when we say get 25 shows, just return this one show. Just a little wacky.
So can you just say var show equals that and then inside of there? Oh no.
Because it's this returns async.
Oh, does that take an action? What does it take?
Setup?
No, return async.
It takes, task. Wait.
Like, can you pass like a method in there? You know what I mean? Like
yeah, let me look.
We're passing an IEnumerable.
Yeah, I mean, we could set it up separately and pass that in, right?
Oh yeah, do that up top, right?
Right, so we could say show equals blah blah blah.
Yeah, and then call that method. Yeah, that's what
okay, so var show equals new show.
Yeah, we're not calling the health checks. That's what we're not calling. Yeah, just move that show up. There we go. Then we can call that method on.
Okay, then we could say show dot set calculated. All right.
And then
gonna do that? Yeah. Okay. So there's that one. And then we probably have to do some more. Oh, what has happened on that?
Oh, we're just grabbing a show, so just rename that show, I guess.
This show or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever, calculated show.
Sure. Then up top just a little bit. Up, down a little bit, down a little bit. Right there, little squiggle.
Okay. That all
now
passed.
we're green. Now we're green. Okay, now what's this one? How's this play? Oh, so we just need to call show dot on that.
Show dot where?
Right above the assert. Because we're passing
Show
in a
set
show.
calculated.
Yeah. Boop. Boop.
That's getting a lot better.
So now if
And
we
those-
rerun those tests, what does that show? Oh, yeah.
Oh, I just selected everything. But
I think it's okay. So I think what we have is the live show is like parsing like the mock data, then boom, there we go. Now we're good.
yep.
Now we can pass that data back in.
Now, and we don't run the health checks anymore. Is that true?
No, not on the. Well, you can. Let me look at the pipeline. Edit. I don't think we do because I don't think we could get it. No, we just run live standup.tests.
Okay.
And I think health checks are in a separate thing.
Oh, that's part of why we split it out.
Yeah, because it like has to be running or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to figure that out one day.
Yep.
All right, so now you can push that
Okay.
code, right?
All right. So fixed tests. I love that when you have a
Fixed more tests.
fix some more tests.
Okay.
All right, and sync and sync. I wish if there was just one outgoing commit and I click sync, it would just
Do it.
one button by. Okay, so now.
Now it's running.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, Ancient Coder, how's it going? Good to see you. We're just finishing up this stream, and now if I go back to my computer, then we're running these pups. Then,
Yes.
hopefully, everything will run. The functions seem to be running well, which is good. Now we're really hoping that now our tests are actually running.
Oh, that's good. And I just realized I'm supposed to pick up my kid before ASP.NET Community
Oh,
Stage.
no.
So
You got to go, man. All right. You better go now.
Okay, I'm gonna drop off.
All right, buddy. All right, we'll see you live. We'll try to push this out until we get out of here. Thanks, John. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye. There we go. And John's out. Ghost. That's funny. All right, we're gonna see if this thing pushes live if we get these tests done. If not, then we're gonna have to wait for John to get back, but should be good. Okay. Oh, ooh. John just like shut off his computer. That's great. Now it's just me, so that means we can put on some music. Do 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 do. There we go. Perfect. All right. All right. So thanks, John. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Thanks for the new follows. Super duper appreciate that. And yeah, we're just gonna finish this up, and we're green on our test, which is great. So we have our pipeline here, and now we can go into releases. Thank you, Ancient. I appreciate that. Yes, there's some secretive stuff all up in there. So let's look at this release 11. And it's queued here. I guess what we should also do, I think here on this edit pipeline. So I think that this is triggered by, oh, it's triggered by that or the function here. Good. Good. So my thoughts is if I look at the history here, releases, why that's just not deploying. Queued. Oh, someone has to approve it. Da, da, da. That's right. So waiting for deployment queue. Happening. Also queued. Been sitting here queued forever. Cancel these, I guess. What is going on here? Why is this called new release pipeline? That's not correct. Should just be called like live stand-up release. Oh, so there is a pre-deployment condition in which one of us needs to approve it. So that is good. And let's save this. And if I go into my pipelines again, so this one here is like, oh, this one's awaiting approval. Seems fine. But why are these not awaiting approval? Cancel this deployment. We don't want to cancel that. Or we do want to cancel that. All right. I'm going to look here in this release. So now it's moved it on up. It's definitely not what we want to do. Because now it's like, it like won't kick off the other releases until we do that. So we definitely need to fix that. This is incorrect. It's like a pre-release approval process. But I feel as though that is not what we wanted to do. In my mind, right? I'm just like, We approve that one. Good. That one's queued, but it's kind of like, it's really strange that that one, it like shows it as queued, but it can't do it until other ones. Oh, you know what I can do is it's this. It's inside of our I know where it's at. There's something really weird, which is options, integration. Fine. There's something inside of the where it's like you can do it's something like allow multiple deployments at the same time. That would be inside of here somewhere. Deploy the latest and cancel others. Unlimited. Number of parallel deployments. Unlimited. That's what it is. Yep. Because now it's going to say like, oh, you can have as many of these queued up as possible, and eventually we'll just abandon those. So cool. So now I think we can deploy the website now that that has gone off. Done. Boom. And then we can come here. We can run this function, which is update shows. Then once the website is deployed here, then what we should see here on this, we should see our new stuff up here. And as this is deployed, done, refresh. And as long as we didn't break it. Yes. That worked. There you go. Put it in the chat room for you. Nice. Maybe not as pretty as we look, but someone else is going to fix that up. So there we go. Boom. Now we have all this on here. You can do watch later. You can do community links. You can click on this. They're going to be starting it up here extremely soon. Very cool. Nice. Cool. All right. That's going to be starting up in 21 minutes. John's out of here. I'm out of here. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. hanging out with us for a little bit. And yeah, check out that website. And ideally, this thing updates and we start seeing playback. And I'm just going to leave it here and just kind of see if that works. Cool. All right. Well, thanks for the new follows. BDS, Coder, Multiluck, I'm PJ, Ike Pajamas, Kung Fury, Pyro, and a bunch of other people that followed in the last week. Super duper appreciate that. I'll be back on Friday doing some more Hanselman forums as always, trying to figure out what happened last week. I know that I think they did like a NuGet. Let's see. I wonder if they did a patch already for the new. Yeah, I'm hoping that they put out a new patch for this one because there was some regressions in it. So we'll see if they do that or not for 4.2.0. I'll check with the team on that. But anyways, hope everyone's been doing well. And of course, I will see you on Friday live streaming it up. Thanks for hanging out. And I will talk to everybody later. Bye.